Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be looking at some more Guild Wars 2 stuff. And the first Guild Wars 2 video I watched was from a lovely content creator called MitchManix, and the video we're going to be watching today is also from MitchManix, and that video is Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is Breathtaking. So this is, I think this is the first expansion. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't quite got to that point yet, but I thought it would be interesting to look at the stuff that I have to look forward to. Before we do that, I'll just remind you all to please go, and all of the MitchManix stuff will be in the description below, and the link to the original video. Please do subscribe and like the video, like I have, and go support him. And please go to his channel. Please go like and subscribe to him like I have, and go support him and on all the things that he does, because he's a great content creator and I'm a big fan. And before we get into the action, please do also follow and subscribe to me too, because that's very nice, because I would appreciate it a lot. And if you do enjoy this video, please do like it as well. And also, if you want to watch me playing some Guild Wars 2 and some other MMOs, but at this point in time, Guild Wars 2, please do follow me on Twitch as well, which is in the description. But without further ado, let us get into the reaction, which is Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is Breathtaking by MitchManix. In 3, 2, 1, go.
With the Steam release of Guild Wars 2 upon us, and since so many of you enjoyed the first outing covering the base game, today we continue the adventure through this expansive MMORPG.
Just quickly, if you haven't watched the original Guild Wars 2 is Breathtaking, go watch that, and then come back and go watch my reaction to that, and then go watch this, and then come watch my reaction to this. Perfect. All right, let's carry on.
Experience and the next chapter in Disco Gizmo's journey,
taking
him to the tangled depths of the deep jungle in the game's first official expansion to see what it has to offer its players today, getting a chance to take in its sights and face its challenges.
What's that? Pocket Raptor. Oh, look at him.
Oh my god.
Look at his little arms.
Oh,
Jesus.
no!
Oh, he's got the posse on me. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to send a bunch of arms. They're the best arms. The strongest of arms.
Okay, now
well,
I officially know
eaten
how
by the raptors.
My name's MitchManix, and this is a deep dive into Guild Wars 2.
We think alike,
Heart
obviously.
of Thorns. It's worth quickly mentioning that if you didn't catch the first entry in the series covering the beginning of Disco Gizmo's journey and the Guild Wars 2 base game, the link is in the description.
Do that.
After enjoying some well-earned relaxation and some minor celebrity following his victory over the challenges of the base game, we are contacted about some further unrest unfolding to begin the game's Living World seasons. The Living World being further purchasable story-driven content to bridge the gap in between expansions, providing a number of hours worth of primarily instance-based content, taking the player to areas not previously covered in the main plotline, as well as boss battles.
Well, the crowd loves it with good reason.
A massive Tauren. What's that? Oh, it's
and some nice rewards following complete.
What was the commentary to that? Was that football? One question I have before I unpause it is he playing a two-handed Greatsword Reaper? Because that's exactly the class I want to play, because that looks so cool.
The areas covered in the Living World season content yet again showcasing the great-looking diversity and design of Guild Wars 2's environments, and featuring yet more great storytelling. With the stage now set, Gizmo arms himself for the upcoming challenges by crafting himself a new main weapon and clearing out any unwanted and hilariously named unneeded items. And sets his sights on the new terror marauding over the lands, beginning by battling his way to the entrance of the thick forest lair of the jungle elder dragon.
Bring us back a dragon trophy.
Challenge accepted, with a short introductory mission playing out before we are thrown into the main event.
Wow, it's like... Oh, that's cool. It's like thinking Harry Potter, in it. I can't remember what it's called. Is that a dragon? I think it is. Wow. Or is it? No, it's not. But still, that looks... daunting.
first stepping into the expansion, what is overwhelming is the sheer scale of the areas and the action playing out within, with massive crashed airships brought down by the jungle's malevolence.
I love that. And, I can't really remember which ones now, the beginning expansions, and I think some WoW expansions where, you know, everything's crash landed and you've begun your journey in the wreckage and you can see the evidence of it. And I really like the skybox as well, unrelated to the point, but I like the big open distance and it's
tangled within its oppressive environment.
You can see a lot.
Gizmo quickly sets to working through the expansion's main storyline, which is shifted from a more dialogue-focused conversation system of the base game to opting to play out dialogue on the move.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, good. I still haven't done my first impressions video yet, but yeah, I haven't really enjoyed that too much, to be honest. The stop-startiness and it kind of breaks the flow. So the fact that I know that this is coming is great news. Great news.
Which, although does feel a little less intimate for each character, does help to keep the pace of delivering the story whilst the action plays out. Showcased here, meeting some of the locals in a tribe of highly suspicious-looking frogs.
They are.
Okay, that might have something to do with it.
Okay.
What the hell is even that?
Battling on through the story, taking time in between to work on leveling up the expansion's unique masteries, which include a number of ways to traverse the harsh landscapes presented in the Heart of Thorns expansion, including access to a glider, using mushrooms to boost up higher, and unlocking a whole system of tunnel networks to access previously inaccessible areas. The Heart of Thorns zones are indicative of the dense forest environments it looks to emulate, with 3 floors of dense jungle explorable areas to each zone.
So it's all heights. That's really cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know many other... Is that the whole expansion is just floors of a jungle? Because that's awesome. And also, I mentioned jungle and forests, particularly zones are my absolute favourite zones that you get in MMOs. So this looks like it's going to be
all filled with vistas, hero challenges, and of course the game's open world events playing out. Guild Wars 2 again opting for a format that gives its players the opportunity to really get to explore its zones and understand some of its inner workings, with story chapters requiring a particular ability to unlock to progress.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I didn't know that, but again, I said this in a video, I think the original video, that is cool when you have to use the gameplay to unlock the story. So the content is the reward. And knowing that I have to go unlock this and then I can do this doesn't happen as often in the MMOs, particularly with story and stuff and things that's more themed and not endgame content, but I think that's more like thematic. Doesn't happen that often, and I'm a big fan of that. This is ticking boxes for me.
Avoiding the sometimes all too fleeting rush through the zone when focusing solely on the story-driven content. When it comes to the zones of Heart of Thorns themselves, the highly dense thick forests, and yet more incredibly well-designed architecture, when coupled with the game's use of light and colour, makes the zones in the expansion nothing short of breathtaking. It can be frustrating at the beginning without the abilities making traversing the land much more possible.
Oh, for God's sake, Gizmo.
Lily and Bobo the best. What the fuck is this, man? Fuck off.
But once I unlocked a few masteries to assist in travel, I couldn't help but just wander the zones, exploring the deep and often beautiful-looking environments this expansion has to offer. It is a testament to the developers' art and design department that they've been able to make a jungle zone look this varied and aesthetically exceptional, while hitting the mark on the feeling of being overwhelmed by nature. As much as I personally enjoyed the zones of Heart of Thorns, I can see why for some they can be quite frustrating, however. For those that get less out of simply exploring, having so many flaws within the zone, as well as the design itself, could lead to those just simply wanting to get from A to B, banging their heads against the incredibly intricate design of the expansion zones, frequently not knowing how to reach their destination or if an ability is required. Heart of Thorns also brings with it the Adventures system, yet another activity to get involved in whilst working through the expansion's content. Adventures are self-contained challenges that have 3 tiers of rewards to achieve, and will task the player with a highly varied set of activities. Role-playing is some horrible anthropomorphic toadstool nonsense to straight-up shooting galleries. The Adventures in Heart of Thorns go even further to strengthen the MMO's feeling of fun, which is something I could hardly not notice even during my time with the base game. This thing walks a very fine line between cute and creepy. not unlike someone else I know. Being able to break up the somewhat grindy feeling of obtaining masteries for progression with content that feels like it was created to be just that, taking a break doing just something totally focused on maximizing enjoyability.
Yeah. It's nice.
And while we're on the subject, if you're enjoying the video, please consider dropping it a like, letting me know your thoughts down in the comments, and subscribing to the channel for all sorts of RPG greatness. You wouldn't believe how much that helps out keeping the content coming.
Do it!
With multiple masteries unlocked.
And to me as well.
And a thorough introduction to the dangers of the jungle.
What the teleporting nonsense is this?
What's that?
I was invited to take part in Guild Wars 2's Fractals of the Mist content.
Okay.
Fractals being 5-man dungeon-focused opportunities to team up and take on one of the game's 100 tiers it has to offer, acting quite similar to World of Warcraft's Mythic Plus system, with each fractal having a set of attributes applied to its playthrough for increased challenges. These working alongside the Agony system, Agony being a unique debuff present in Fractals that will damage players and reduce healing when encountered, leading to require players to infuse their gear with special infusions to reduce its effects that go stronger the higher up in difficulty the Fractals themselves become. Being one of the cornerstones of Guild Wars 2's endgame, I had a great time playing through my first experience, and clearly wasn't alone in my excitement. And I can see why Fractals can provide a massive amount of content for players looking to push up the difficulty, and with it the rewards given, with there even being a storyline provided within the instance to place them within the game's world.
Nice.
With a break from the action getting slapped about in Fractals, we return to the main event, getting slapped about in the jungle, where Gizmo delves deeper into the thickets, unlocking more modes of transportation, reaching some incredible heights, and getting a look at some more of the expansion's exceptional looking sights, making sure to now and again track down some of the game's hero points to further progress the Reaper's subclass, unlocking further modes of Necromancer destruction. The hero points in Heart of Thorns, in my experience at least, have had a reasonable bump up in difficulty. And yes, can cause some frustration, spending ages finally tracking a point down in the sometimes confusing layout of the jungle just to find out it's far too challenging to face alone. As far as I'm concerned, just gives another challenge to rise to, as well as encouraging grouping up to overcome the odds. Hero points give 10 points in Heart of Thorns over the base game's single point, which is a massive help in achieving a fully unlocked subclass, and makes sense to fully realise the power of the subclass that were in their first iteration brought to the table upon the expansion's release. After the epic conclusion of the Heart of Thorns story, and Gizmo keeping up his tradition of dramatic entrances, I can say that for those with more of a focus on story-driven MMO content, Heart of Thorns will provide that well, at the same time as being possibly on the shorter side for some.
That's not a bad thing at all. I do like a story-driven MMO, as some of you may know that I've obviously spent the past year or so playing Final Fantasy XIV and enjoyed the story a huge amount, so I do like that. I mean, he says that it may not be very long, which I don't know, maybe applied it as like a slight negative for some people. To be honest, after finishing the entire, main scenario quest of Final Fantasy XIV, a short game it would be wonderful, because that took ages. So I'm happy for a short story, a short and sweet story. It sounds good to me at this point in time.
Strong recommendation for those looking for a full story experience would be to look at the purchasable additional episodes of The Living World, covering the plot lines in between the base game and the expansion itself.
We'll do those.
As after playing through it all, contains some really key moments within the story that I expect would leave those that have not progressed through it a little confused at some of the events during the introduction of Heart of Thorns.
If you want to watch me do those, let me know, because if there's like the story's good, because obviously like when I played Final Fantasy XIV, people like to see me react to certain moments in the story. So if you want to see that, let me know, and I'll make sure that I'm recording or at least streaming when those happen, and I can put those into videos. If you want to see those, let me know.
Choice to paywall such key plot-related developments I'm sure will justifiably rub some the wrong way, as other free-to-play MMOs manage just fine operating with a sole focus on microtransactions that don't hold so much value for those looking to follow something as integral as the game's plotline. And it'll be up to you if playing through all the story will be worth the extra investment.
If people want me to do it, I'll do it. Things just look shitter and shitter. Like, okay.
With yet another towering antagonist decimated by our disco hero, it's on to the expansion's raid content. And after teaming up with the great guys and gals over
that armor looks amazing. I love that. Look at that. Oh, I hope I can unlock that.
The Mushroom Guild got a chance to take on Heart of Thorns raid instances with the Forsaken Thicket, which, as with my previous look into Guild Wars 2's raid offerings, was highly enjoyable, with some interesting mechanics and some tough boss encounters to take on within the raid's 3 wings.
Nice.
Challenge mode is available within the raid instance to further increase its difficulty along with its rewards, for those looking to take on some of Guild Wars 2's toughest PvE encounters. Raids even feature their own mastery skill line to unlock additional buffs and utilities to work towards, and to help reach the heights of the higher difficulties. And I hope ArenaNet looks to add more raid encounters in the future, alongside those featured in the Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire expansions, as they have already, for me at least, shown themselves capable of providing a great raiding experience.
Cool.
One that I feel I'll be likely to return to in the future, which is a feeling I get a fair amount from content offered by the game's first expansion, with such a variety of activities packed into its zones. The adventures to complete, visitors to reach, and even optional bonus achievements baked into the main storyline. As a package for those inclined, there is a huge amount to get stuck into, and a sickening amount for any of you poor completionists out there. My experience working through Guild Wars 2's first expansion has served to only strengthen the sentiment of our previous outing within the game's core levels from 1 to 80. What ArenaNet have crafted within the Heart of Thorns zones can feel like a grind getting all the required mastery abilities unlocked, become all too confusing while trying to figure out which area of such a densely packed map your next visitor or activity choice is, and sometimes give the feeling of not knowing where to start. But what Heart of Thorns also gives its players is a chance to dive into yet another experience overflowing with content and entertaining activities to get involved in, whilst battling against the elements in one of the most visually breathtaking and incredibly well-presented MMO offerings around, even 7 years after its initial release.
I mean, even as a YouTube video, that's obviously been compressed, so it's... I mean, if you're watching this, you're watching a YouTube video that's been... you're watching the footage of a game which has been compressed into a YouTube video, which has been compressed into a further YouTube video, which is mine. So if you think it doesn't look that good, in the actual game would look far better than this.
I don't feel like I'm running around a reskin of the base game, ticking boxes until another cinematic plays. Heart of Thorns felt like another experience entirely, lost within its unforgiving jungle, oppressed by its inhabitants and overgrown chaos, which, as far as I'm concerned, is exactly what exploring a land overtaken by an evil jungle dragon should feel like. I can see why such a chaotic landscape can enthrall some and infuriate others, but for me at least, I really enjoyed rising to the challenges presented by Heart of Thorns. And if enough of you beautiful people would like Disco Gizmo's journey to continue into the depths of the Path of Fire expansion, then let me know by dropping a like on the video. But for now, I will settle for diving back into the depths of the jungle, as me and Gizmo have a score to settle with a certain pack of tiny dinosaurs.
Good luck with that.
Thank you so much for watching. Have you played or are looking to jump into Heart of Thorns? As always, I'm keen to get your thoughts down in the comments. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Treasure Mushroom Guild for giving a pint-sized afro-toting Azura a chance to see so much of the game's group content. Also want to give a shout out to the channel members who help in supporting the channel and keeping the content coming. If anyone is interested in joining as a channel member for all sorts of perks, including exclusive videos, the info is down in the description. Thanks again for anyone making it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hello! Alright, so that is that. Another fantastic video by MitchManix. As always, follow and subscribe to him, all of that stuff. This sounds great, and it's nice to see that some very early gripes that I've had, which I kind of spoke about briefly, with the cutscenes and, the constant stopping, and then, what's the word I'm looking for? Still, I suppose, is a word that can use. Still dialogue, and that kind of interrupts the flow of the game. And because Guild Wars 2 is a game that feels so nice, and it feels very fluid. Like, to have that stop into a cutscene, it doesn't feel good. So to see that's already been addressed is great, and it kind of I don't know, it gives you a lot of confidence in what can come, or what the game developer ArenaNet does, and constantly improving aspects of the game. So that is good. What else? Story, as I mentioned, I enjoy a story, so this looks like something I'm going to really like to get into, and the zone looks really cool. I'm sure it is going to be frustrating, because of their levels and how complicated it's going to be, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. Not a problem. But the visuals look very, very nice, and I'm looking forward to playing through this. I do know that I think I can skip straight to this if I wanted to, but I want to play through the base game first because I want to be able to look through everything and play through everything and play through every expansion. And as I said, look, when it comes to this story stuff, if you want to see me play it and want to see reactions to certain story beats, let me know because we can make that happen. Is there anything else? Oh, the raiding stuff looks really cool, and the kind of Mythic Plus dungeons. I'm guessing. I have the feeling that the Mythic Plus style dungeons, I can't remember what it's called. I could go look at it, but it doesn't matter. It was probably done before WoW, because most things are done before WoW, let's be honest. This game has a lot of what I like in, like, the completionist putting aspect to it, completing all the zones and moving on, putting everything out into the world. So you have to go, like, find it, and you have to be in the world, and encouraging you to work together with players, having a good story there for you to follow along, having you use, having to unlock stuff to unlock content. I'm excited to see more of this, because obviously it's weird to see that there's a game like this that has just been here all along. And I kind of say the similar thing when I kind of started playing FF14, I suppose. It's weird to, this game has been here the whole time, and it kind of, like, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I wish MMOs did more stuff like this, more stuff like this, more stuff like this. And there is one here. It's just been sat there the whole time. I just haven't been, I just haven't put my attention to it. So it's nice. Better late than never, I suppose. Better late than never. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to say in regards to this video here. Obviously, please do go to MitchManix and subscribe to him, follow his streams, do everything there. Yes, do everything there. And also, if you have any other suggestions and things you want me to look at, watch, whatever, react to, put those in the comments and I'll make sure to do them. I'm more than happy to take requests and ideas. And also, let me know what other types of videos you want to see, because I will always do what you would like. I'm happy to take suggestions and stuff. But anyway, but I don't believe there's anything more that I need to say other than I'm looking forward to getting more into this game. So thank you all again so much for watching. I'm really appreciating the attention these videos are getting. It was very, very nice. Please, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. And if you enjoyed this video, please do like the video as well. Again, thank you all. Truly, thank you all so much for watching. And I really am looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.